Okay, guys, I think it's afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm pretty excited today. I got some good news about my son, and he sort of got a dream job. Um, I was so happy about it that I couldn't hardly sleep last night. So anyway, um, yeah, so I got some good news. My son. I won't get into details because this is going to be a spiritual reading meeting, but I love my son more than anything in the world. And he got exactly what he wanted. He was having a hard time after graduating, just getting a job because the market's so tough. Anyway, so he got himself a dream job, and I've never been this happy. So, anyway, so the reading today, we were at the meeting. We read the daily reflection. We talk about when we retire at night, on awakening and stuff like that. And we're going to talk about step 11, okay? And if you want to know where the steps are, they start on page 59, okay? I don't have my glasses, but they start on 59. And step 11 says, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him. Praying only for knowledge of His will for us. All we're praying for is knowledge of God's will for us and the power to carry that out. So we pray for one thing and one thing only, okay? The knowledge of God's will for us. Okay, so that's step 11. Okay, so over here in step 11 on page 86, okay, let's check out. We'll start in the morning. Okay, I'm not going to make this a long video. There's a lot of pages on step 11, so we'll break it down. But let's talk about what we're supposed to do in the morning upon awakening. Okay, on awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. We consider our plans for the day. Before we begin, we ask God to direct our thinking, especially asking that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest or self-seeking motives. Under these conditions, we can employ our mental faculties with assurance, for after all, God gave us brains to use, right? Our thought life will be placed on a much higher plane when our thinking is cleared of wrong motives. Okay, so that's what we do when we wake up. If you go over to page 64, it says resentment. 64. Resentment is the number one offender. It destroys more alcoholics than anything else. From it stem all forms of spiritual disease. For we have been not only mentally and physically ill, we have been spiritually sick. When the spiritual malady is overcome, we straighten out mentally and physically. So the malady is overcome by the steps. We straighten out mentally because mental obsession is lifted. And therefore we straighten out physically because we don't have to take the first drink because we don't have the mental obsession. And if we don't take the first drink, we don't have to worry about the physical allergy. Okay? So that's important. But we went over it many times. In dealing with resentment, we put them on paper. Now, if resentments are the number one offender, back to 86, why do we have to ask God to especially divorce us from self-pity, dishonest, or self-seeking motives? Shouldn't we be asking God to divorce us from resentments? It's the number one offender. So why does it say self-pity and not resentments? Because if I'm angry at somebody and I'm resentful at somebody and they do something to me, like say my brother, my sister, my mom, dad, or let's say my neighbor, let's say my best friend. So my best friend Mark, he does something to me. He's either late, way late for dinner, or doesn't show up at all, or he took my car without asking, or he was going to give me some money but he didn't give it to me, or he embarrassed me in front of a girl, right? So sex, social security. So if I'm upset with Mark, what I'm really saying is, poor Paul, look what Mark did to me. And then I get pissed off. But I'm in self-pity. First, I'm feeling sorry for myself. First, I'm saying, poor me, look at what you did to me. I cannot believe you did that to me. And then I get angry and resentful. If I can stay out of self-pity, if I can stay out of poor me, look what Mark did to me, and stay in acceptance and go, man, that's just the way life is. People have self too. People have character defects too. Who am I to judge anybody? I'm an alcoholic. It's ironic for me to judge anybody. And if I can stay out of self-pity, there will be no resentments. The resentments will go away. I have to be in self-pity to end up with a resentment. I can't think of one resentment I've ever had where I wasn't saying, poor Paul, look at what they did to me. Look at what they did to me. So that's why we're asked to be divorced from self-pity instead of resentments. Now, when we retire at night, we constructively review our day. When resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid, do we owe an apology? Have we kept something to? So they mention resentments when we retire at night. Because did we screw up? Did we get into self-pity? Were we sincere when we asked God to divorce us from self-pity? And if we were, there will be no resentments. And if we look back at our day and we see anger or resentments, we're going to know we were in self-pity, man. I got to do better tomorrow. When I get up in the morning, I'm going to sincerely ask God to divorce me from self-pity. And please grant me acceptance, tolerance, and pity that I would cheerfully grant a sick friend. When this person offended, I say, God, this is a sick person. How can I be helpful? God, save me from being angry. Thy will be done. And I can't do it without God's help. I need God. So at night, we look at if we did get angry or resentful. Because if we did, their self-pity happened. Like I got resentful, say, at 11 o'clock. What happened? Well, I was at the restaurant and I felt sorry for myself. I got upset with the owner because the food came too late. I was really angry. It cost too much anyway. Poor Paul. Look at what they're doing to me. I'm pissed off now. I can't believe they were late with my food and charged me too much. I wasn't divorced from self-pity. I stayed in self-pity. When I asked God to divorce, I wasn't sincere enough or something. So that's why they say, divorce me from self-pity and not resentments. And we'll talk about the rest of step 11, but I don't want to make the videos too long. But it was a question that was brought up on the morning meeting because it was the daily reflection. And they're like, well, why self-pity? Why not resentments? And now we know. I'm not going to repeat it because I've been repeating myself a lot in these videos. I'm going to try to change a bit. So that's what the morning reading is about. And if we were sincere to God and really meant it, really said divorce me from self-pity, we really meant it, I'm not going to have a resentment all day long. I just know it. I've done it before. I've gone through days with no resentments because when I woke up in the morning, I was sincere when I asked him to divorce me from self-pity. And I know I'm kind of repeating myself again, but I want to smash it home that how powerful this program is and how much these spiritual principles work. So I love you guys. I love you all. I'm a little excited today. My son is in a good position. I'm really only stayed sober for him, so I'm just real happy for my son. So anyway, guys, that's enough out of me. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Love you all.